Meet Han. Right now, he's planning to study abroad in order to qualify for a job he really wants. However, the university is an English-speaking country and his dream job favors English-speaking candidates. So, he's made up his mind, determined to learn the English language. But just like any non-native English speaker, Han is having a hard time getting the hang of things. What are the things he should and shouldn't do to get the best results when studying English? Here are 10 do's and don'ts when it comes to learning a language. Number 1. Don't try to skip the basics. Oftentimes, a majority of people skip learning the basics and they end up struggling to understand advanced lessons or anything at all. To avoid this, take learning step by step and according to your level. Don't rush yourself. Number 2. Don't routinely memorize complex and out-of-context vocabulary words. Knowing hundreds of complicated vocabs does not make you a great English speaker, especially if you're never going to use them or you don't know how to. Instead, practice useful vocabulary words you can actually use when conversing, writing, or expressing yourself. Number 3. Don't focus too much on translating. When you try to express yourself in English, do you usually translate from your native language? Well, the more you rely on translating, the less you'll get used to the English language. One good tip to grow out of this habit is to try thinking in English. Number 4. Don't neglect the other skills. It can be helpful if you have a favorite subject while learning the 4 core skills, which are reading, writing, speaking, and listening. In cases like this, we tend to spend more time focusing on subjects we like rather than those we don't. If you want to successfully learn English, you should remember to practice each skill equally while facing and working on your weaknesses. Number 5. Don't use unreliable study materials. In today's modern age, people go to the internet for everything. However, not everything you find is reliable and factual. Imagine how disastrous it would be if you were learning wrong grammar rules and vocabs. Make sure to get only your study and practice materials from credible sources. Number 6. Don't obsess over grammar. Yes, grammar is important, but it's just one of many things you need to learn in English. Other things that are just important are learning expressions, paraphrasings, and descriptions. Since solely focusing on your grammar can make you sound stiff and unnatural, these other skills can help make your English less robotic and more conversational. Number 7. Don't disregard slang words and idioms. Slang words and idioms add color to a language. Not learning this can be a huge setback, especially since they are commonly used in conversational English. To avoid awkward silences and confusion, it's best to familiarize yourself with American slang, idioms, and expressions. Number 8. Don't underestimate the power of repetition. If you've noticed that your English lessons can be quite repetitive, there's nothing to be mad about. Repetition and going over lessons is done so that the foundation of the language are instilled into the learner. So feel free to go over the rules, lessons, pronunciations, and etc. as many times as needed to make sure you never forget them. Number 9. Don't take different media and media platforms for granted. If you limit your learning to only textbooks, you're missing out a lot of things. Now is the best time to utilize social media, TV, films, music, books, games, and more to English learning. And number 10. Don't disregard your learning environment. Since language centers more on application rather than memorization, a learning environment that helps you practice and apply while you're studying is ideal. One of the best setups for learning English is studying abroad, where you're surrounded by English speakers, and attend one-on-one classes. Those are 10 helpful practices when it comes to learning a language. With these tips and consistent practice and effort, Han can successfully achieve his goals in learning English. If you can do it, certainly you can too!